Hey, what's up YouTube? Jason here with Byte My Bits, and I hope I am live. It looks like I'm live. I mean, so far, so good. Okay, I've really stepped up the game this year, and I have installed OBS with all these little, add-ons and chat add-ons and stuff like that, so I am excited and slightly drunk. Beer time. Guys, Happy New Year for everybody who has already experienced the future and is already living in the future and has already had a new year. So Happy New Year to everybody out there, but everybody who is living in the past, like myself, aka Central Standard Time or below, welcome to the now, where we're not really in the future. But anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be recording Jason Bytes Back. And, well, I'm going to use the recording to edit Jason Bytes Back later, probably tomorrow while I'm hungover. I do have a couple, 9 questions to address. So if you guys have any questions for me, definitely post them in the comments down below. I do have, of course, I have 9 questions to get to. I have counted them out. There are 9 different questions to get to. And I thank everybody for sending me donations, and I will get to you. So the first question is from Jason Bytes Back. Episode number 20, by the way. This is number 20. So I'm almost 24. I'm 4 months away, but number 20. It's not really a question as much as a comment that I found very interesting is something that I didn't know. And that is Carl Rhodes said RAID Z Expansion feature is coming in 2019. If you guys know me, you know that I'm totally into Unraid. And Unraid is basically Unraid is like totally, I'm like a fanboy when it comes to Unraid. So the reason why I like Unraid is I sacrifice the speed and, well, pretty much the speed and also the reliability of a ZFS file system. The ZFS file system, of course, is something you get with something like FreeNAS. You could also build it with Ubuntu or, Linux platforms, but with FreeNAS specifically, you can build the Z platform or the Z file system and like Z1, Z2, stuff like that, but you cannot expand it. So once you build it, like let's say if you have 5 hard drives, you cannot expand it. This guy, Carl Rhodes, said ZFS Expansion is coming in 2019. I did a quick Google search, and that's true. At least that's what Google says. There's a feature coming to where they can expand the ZFS file system with another hard drive. So that actually opens up some interesting options for me because my next server, which I am planning on building another server, I don't know if it'll be 2019 because my server is more than enough for me right now, but my next server is probably going to be Unraid, but with the ZFS expansion option coming, that actually opens up some options because the thing is with Unraid, you're limited to the speed of one hard drive. Let's say you're reading at one time. You're limited to the speed of the one hard drive at a time. So with RAID Z or ZFS or something like that, you actually have multiple hard drives working in conjunction with each other in order to offer a higher speed. So that's kind of interesting. So Carl Rhodes, I want to say that because you actually left that comment, I'm looking into FreeNAS as a potential option for my next Plex server or my main server, or at least another server. I might add more hard drives and just run a second server. I don't really know. But I've always liked FreeNAS just because of the performance numbers that it put out in my Battle OS. FreeNAS proved to be a very worthy contestant. So it's something that I want to explore. And now that I know that it's possible in the future that I could expand that drive, it might be an option. Nelson Lopez, I came for the steak, but stay for the whole video. Education on tech is always good. Question number 1, what video editing software do you use? I'm new to editing. Well, honestly, I started out way back in the day with Windows Media Editor or whatever the default Windows 7 video editor was, but nowadays I use Premiere Pro. Even though like when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing and I just stumbled my way through it. Premiere Pro is like one of those things where it's cheap. I mean, it's like $30 a month to get the license for it. It used to be super expensive, but with Premiere Pro, even if you don't know what you're doing, if you start out with Premiere Pro and you learn as you go, it is a software that you can continue to use throughout your I'm going to say this loosely, YouTube career. So as far as, or as long as you want to edit videos, Premiere Pro is always going to be there for you. So I recommend, even if you don't know how to use it, to at least start using it, because if you can cut a basic video together with Premiere Pro and then evolve from there, you're only going to get better. So Premiere Pro. Have you done anything with the CNC machine? I have a few ideas. Build a space station rig? No. Not done anything with a CNC machine. I've not even considered a CNC machine, but I have considered a 3D printing machine. I'm kind of waiting for 3D printing to evolve a little bit. Once 3D printing evolves just a little bit, I think I might dive into it a little bit, because it is fascinating to me, the whole idea of you just, and then you have, something that you printed out, even though it took 20 hours to do. So 3D printing I might get into, but CNC, as far as like, I assume CNC is cutting out metal or something like that. I haven't really dove into too much or at least gathered any interest. So Seawash Burn 0529 asked, will you do a video on over-the-air solutions such as Air TV or HD Homerun and integration with Plex? Well, Swashburn, yes. I am actually looking at some over-the-air solutions, actually through HD Homerun. They have a premium service that's like $35 a month. I think they have like 40 channels or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I am looking at that premium service because specifically you can tie that premium service into Plex and the DVR system. So you can tie that in and like record those, TV shows or movies or whatever you want to watch directly into Plex. So I am actually looking into that. And in fact, I've actually gotten a few or a little bit of footage, covering some of that stuff. And I am in the process, let's just say that, I am in the process of making a video thus far covering what HD Homerun has to offer. So look for that in future videos. The next one is from Mike Norwood. He said, nice ribeye. Yes, I had a ribeye sitting right here, actually. I don't know why I put it there, but I did. Do you think the chair is uncomfortable because it's actually forcing you to sit improperly rather than slouching as all of us do in our chairs? Is there a breaking in period for those chairs? I have tried this chair, this Maxonomic chair, multiple times, and I've tried to sit in it in different ways. And I've sat in it like this, where I sit back a little bit, I relax. I've tried all different things. And even now, it is 12:30, and even now, my butt is just a little bit numb. It is uncomfortable to sit in. Maybe it's bad posture. I don't know. Maybe it's a slouching posture thing, but whatever it is, that is what it is. From Dragonor, I know you have a full Plex ecosystem, but you should definitely try MB. When it comes to my channel, I have founded my entire channel off of Plex. That was my initial ambition, where I was like, Plex servers, Plex clients, Plex media storage, etc. Right? All of that was all off of Plex. So for me to change to MB, it doesn't make any sense, right? I've tested MB before. It's performed okay. And even if, let's say in the future, MB, I don't know, hypothetically, let's say MB actually performed, 10% better or 20% better or whatever percent better. The idea of switching everything over to MB with all of my shares, family members, friends, stuff like that, unless Plex actually changes so much that actually, changes the dynamics of how, media sharing works, I don't see me ever switching to Plex versus, the sponsorship that I have with Plex and, everything that I've set up with Plex before. I just don't see that happening. So, Michael Miller, Are you using TeamViewer to view the Blue Iris client on your server? Does Blue Iris have a proper client for remote machines? Why not use a better VMS solution than Blue Iris that is not resource intensive? Okay. So I use the Blue Iris interface. First of all, it's like $30 a year, right? So it's super cheap. Blue Iris is like super cheap every year in order to use as many cameras as I want to every year without having to worry about any kind of limitations. On top of that, I use TeamViewer, which TeamViewer allows me in a free status to remotely monitor the cameras that are going on in my house. I've had a lot of different options presented to me in order to use like a remote desktop. In fact, I've actually used the remote desktop software itself, like through Windows application itself. But that requires like resizing the windows and changes the way the Blue Iris acts and stuff like that. But pretty much like if I use the Blue Iris interface or the Blue Iris web interface, it's just not as robust. So I still use the Blue Iris interface and I still use the Blue Iris remote desktop because it's the easiest thing to do. It resizes everything, it makes everything easy to use, and honestly, it's just the easiest thing to use. Happy New Year's. It is 2019. You guys are awesome. I'm actually scrolling through the quick things, and it looks like there are 3 shots. Oh, 4. Matthias Daniels. $50. Oh my god. Oh, okay, let's back up a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna make it through all the questions right now. Theo Baker, $5. Theo Baker, watermelon, or no, Robert Firestone with a watermelon.